I am not exaggerating when I say this could be the craziest week in Disney Lorcana history. Because not only do we have Gen Con coming up, during which I expect to see at least a few cool announcements, but the team at Ravensburger also just gave us the rules for a brand new multiplayer format they've been developing, code-named Coconut. This thing is absolutely bonkers, and I cannot wait to try it out. So let's take a look at exactly what we're going to do with this brand new format. First off, Coconut is a constructed format, meaning you're going to have your deck pre-built before you get to these events, just like you would for set champs or locals. Only the difference here is the deck building rules for Coconut are vastly different than what we're used to in both Core Constructed and Infinity Constructed. Really, the only thing these three formats have in common is you need at least 60 cards in your deck. After that, Coconut kind of goes in its own direction. To start building a deck for Coconut format, the first thing you're going to do is pick a Coconut. This is a character from a curated list of 18 different cards, each of which has a special ability that is unfortunately not printed on the card itself. Don't worry, you can actually find these abilities listed in the Disney Lorcana app. And we will go over all 18 characters as well as their abilities in a little bit. After that, there are 3 deck building rules you have to follow. First, you may have up to 3 different ink types, but one of them has to be the same color as your Coconut card. Second, you have to have at least 60 cards, but you may have more if you choose. And third, you may only have 1 copy of any given card in your deck, with the sole exception of your Coconut. After that, use the normal multiplayer rules for Disney Lorcana, with the exception that the winner of the game will be the first player to reach 25 lore. Now that we've got deck building out of the way, let's take a look at the Coconut cards that we can build our decks around. There are 18 of them so far, 3 in each ink color, and as I mentioned, each of them has a special ability not printed on the card. The important thing to note here is that this ability is something that you always have access to, regardless of whether your Coconut is in play or not. And that means some of these abilities are a little bit crazy. So let's dive right in, starting in Amber with Ariel Spectacular Singer. This is a phenomenal card all the way back from the first chapter. She is an inkable 3-cost Storyborn Hero Princess with 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. She has Singer 5 and the ability Musical Debut. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a song card and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. Oh, goodness. Her Coconut ability is whenever a princess character of yours sings a song, you gain lore equal to her lore value. This thing can get nuts very quickly. This is one that I want to build. I'm probably going to do Steel Song with Sapphire added into it. That'll give me access to a lot of great princesses and a lot of great songs. Next up, we have Pocahontas Peacekeeper. This is an inkable 5-cost Floodborn Hero Princess. She has 3 strength, 6 willpower, and 2 lore. She has Shift 3 and the ability Calming Words. When you play this character, if you used Shift to play her and none of your characters challenge this turn, characters can't challenge until the start of your next turn. Her Coconut ability is once during your turn, you may choose a character. Until the start of your next turn, they gain +1 lore and can't challenge and must quest if able. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not a huge fan of Pocahontas Peacekeeper. Her ability requires shifting to activate for 1 turn, and I just don't feel like there is enough targets for Pocahontas to shift onto. Also, I'm not a big fan of her Coconut ability being only once per turn. Finishing out Amber, we have a classic back from the first chapter. This is Stitch Rockstar. He is an inkable 6-cost Floodborn Hero Alien with 3 strength, 5 willpower, and 3 lore. He has Shift 4 and the ability Adoring Fans. Whenever you play a character with cost 2 or less, you may exert them to draw a card. This pairs very well with his Coconut ability. Once during your turn, you may play a character with 2 cost or less from your hand for free. If you have a character named Stitch in play, you may play a character with cost 2 or less from your discard instead. This one, you definitely want to play a lot of aggro. For this one, you want to run Amber and Steel because those 2 colors give you access to the majority of the Stitch cards that have been printed. And then throw in Emerald as well, because that'll give you another healthy dose of Stitches, but also give you a lot of good aggro tools to play with. Moving to Amethyst, we have Dumbo, Ninth Wonder of the Universe, one of the best Lorcana cards that has ever been printed. This is an inkable 4-cost Storyborn hero with 3 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. He has evasive and 2 abilities: breaking records. You exert him, pay 1 ink and to draw a card and gain a lore, and then making history, giving your other characters with evasive the ability to exert and pay 1 ink to draw a card and gain 1 lore. His coconut ability is you may use the exert abilities of your characters the turn they're played. That is super powerful. We've already seen in Core Constructed just how good Dumbo's ability is when you surround him with a bunch of other evasive characters. And his coconut ability lets you do that the turn you play all of these characters. The way you want to build this deck is to surround Dumbo with a bunch of other evasive characters, which means you're limited to just Amethyst, Emerald, and Ruby, because outside of those three, evasive barely exists. Our next one in Amethyst is going to be a hard one to build around. This is Snow White, Merry as the Morning. She is an inkable 3-cost Dreamborn hero princess with 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. She has 2 abilities: Clarion Call. Whenever this character quests, you may return chosen 7 dwarves character of yours to your hand to draw a card. And Never Forgotten. During an opponent's turn, when this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. Her coconut ability is once per game during your turn, you may reveal your hand. If you have a Snow White and 7 or more 7 dwarf character cards with different names among the cards in your hand, in your discard and in play, your characters get +2 lore for the rest of the game. It's a cute ability, but the problem is it'll be almost impossible to activate it. Because yes, you're able to consider cards in hand, in play, and in the discard, but you need 1 copy of each of the 7 dwarves. So you need a Bashful, a Doc, a Dopey, a Grumpy. And considering we've only had 3 cycles of the 7 dwarves, once in Amber, once in Steel, and once in Amethyst, it's going to be really hard to pull that off. Our last Amethyst card is one of the all-time popular Lorcana cards. It's Winnie the Pooh, Honey Wizard. This is an inkable 5-cost Dreamborn hero sorcerer Honey with 5 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 lore, and that's it. He has no abilities tacked onto him, which pairs very well with his coconut ability. Whenever you play a character without an ability, you may pay 1 ink to draw a card. Having perpetual access to card draw, even if you're paying for it, is a powerful strategy. You're also going to be playing with a lot of vanilla characters, meaning there's not a ton else going on. So, cool idea. I'm going to try to build it. I just don't think it's going to be as powerful as some of these other coconuts. Going into Emerald, our first coconut is Donald Duck Fred Honeywell. This is an inkable 4-cost Storyborn ally. He has 4 strength, 4 willpower, and 1 lore. He has 2 abilities: Spirit of Giving. Whenever you use the boost ability of a character, you may put the top card of your deck under them face down, so he doubles up boost triggers. And Well Wishes. During opponent's turns, whenever one of your other characters is banished, you may draw a card for each card that was under them. His coconut ability is you may pay 1 ink less to use boost abilities. That coconut ability is super powerful. Fred's abilities himself, I don't think are as vital to what's going on, but there's a lot of great boost in there. I think the 3 colors you want to focus on for Fred Honeywell, obviously Emerald, and then Amethyst and Ruby as well. Next up in Emerald, we have Robin Hood, Sneaky Sleuth. This is an inkable 5-cost Floodborn hero with 3 strength, 5 willpower, and 1 lore. He has Shift 3 and the ability Clever Plan. This character gets +1 lore for each opposing damaged character in play. And of course, being an Emerald, that is not going to be hard at all. His ability is once per game during your turn, you may deal 1 damage to each opposing character. And that right there has me right out. I don't like abilities that only happen once per game. And because this is a static ability not tied to your particular copies of Robin Hood, that means you only get to activate it once per game. Not a huge fan of this one either. Rounding out Emerald, we have Ursula, Deceiver of All. This was a fantastic card back in the day. This is an inkable 3-cost Dreamborn villain sorcerer with 2 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore. She has the ability What a Deal. Whenever this character sings a song, you may play that song again from your discard for free, then put it on the bottom of your deck. Her coconut ability is your characters count as having +1 cost for singing songs. Your characters named Ursula count as having +2 cost instead. Her being able to sing 5-cost songs by herself is a great ability. You also can add in Steel, which has a lot of great damage and removal songs, and then probably Amethyst for card draw as well. Starting off strong in Ruby, we've got Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor. This is such a good card. I loved it back in the day. He is an inkable 8-cost Dreamborn hero. He has 5 strength, 5 willpower, and 4 lore, and he is evasive. His coconut ability is Mickey Mouse character cards in your hand, deck, and discard gain Shift 2. The point of this deck, of course, is Mickey Mouse Trouble. You want to put as many Mickey Mouse cards into your deck as you possibly can. First blush, I would probably say Ruby, because you have to, obviously, and then supplement with Amber and possibly Steel. Maybe Sapphire. I don't know. This one, I think this one's worth looking into just a little bit. The next Ruby coconut we've got is Mr. Incredible Super Strong. This is probably the one I am most excited about. So he is an inkable 5-cost Storyborn superhero with 6 strength, 4 willpower, and 1 lore. He has Shift 3 and the ability Always United. This character gets +2 strength for each other character you have in play. And let's do this. Whenever one of your super characters challenges another character, draw a card. His coconut ability is whenever you play a super character, they gain Rush this turn, and you may exert chosen opposing character with less strength than them. There's only one way to build this. Ruby, Amethyst, Steel. That's where all your supers are. And I will point out that it asks for super characters, not super hero characters. So your super villains, like Negaduck or Megavolt, absolutely would work in this deck. Our final Ruby coconut is Sisu Emboldened Warrior. She is an inkable 3-cost Storyborn hero deity dragon with 1 strength, 4 willpower, and 2 lore. Her ability is Surge of Power. This character gets +1 strength for each card in opponent's hands. Always a great ability. Then you add in her coconut ability. All characters with more strength than each opposing character can quest the turn they're played. I need to do a deeper dive into this one because I think this ability is incredibly strong. There's a lot of characters, especially in Ruby, that care about having more strength than your opponents. It's not going to be hard to overpower your opponent's characters. If you run Ruby, you run Steel, and you probably run Amethyst, I think you'll be able to have a really powerful deck. But as I said, I want to dive deeper into this one. Starting off with Sapphire, we have Moana, Curious Explorer. This is an inkable 5-cost Storyborn hero princess with 4 strength, 4 willpower, and 2 lore, and the ability Ancestral Legacy. You can ink cards from your discard. I love this ability. I love Moana. And add into this her coconut ability. During your turn, if you have a Moana, Heihei, or Pua character in play, you may ink an additional card. This one's really kind of cute. I just don't know the overall strategy to win on this one. Yes, it lets you get more ink into your inkwell, but what exactly are you going to do with that one? I think this one deserves more of a deep dive as well, just to figure out what can be done with it. Next up in Sapphire, we have Mufasa, Ruler of Pride Rock. This is an uninkable 8-cost Storyborn Mentor King. He has 4 strength, 9 willpower, and 4 lore. And the abilities A Delicate Balance. When you play this character, exert all cards in your inkwell, then return 2 cards at random from your inkwell to your hand. And everything the light touches, whenever this character quests, ready all cards in your inkwell. His coconut ability is once per game during your turn, you may pay 5 ink to put the top 3 cards of your deck into your inkwell face down and exerted. This one I'm not as keen on. Mufasa, Ruler of Pride Rock, it's a good looking card, but in play, it's not as great. Plus that ability only being able to trigger once per game. I'm not a big fan of that, and I'm really not sure how this deck wants to win. Last in Sapphire, we've got Nick Wild Wily Fox. Inkable 4-cost Storyborn ally with 2 strength, 4 willpower, and 2 lore. And the ability, it's called Hustle. When you play this character, you may turn an item card named Popsicle from your discard to your hand. Now, that doesn't seem really great in a singleton format, but his coconut ability is you can have up to 4 copies of an item card named Popsicle in your deck. Once during your turn, you may banish 4 of your items. If you do, gain 4 lore. So obviously, this is going to be an item strategy. The Popsicle is obviously a very good item, but you've also got some great other cards, especially in Sapphire, that want to deal with items. Honestly, like, you may not even want to splash outside of Sapphire for this one. There's a lot of good item strategies and support in just Sapphire alone, including my boy, Hiram Flavisham, toy maker who is not banned in Coconut. Not banned in Coconut. Thank you. Starting off into Steel, we have what is probably my son's most anticipated Coconut. It is John Silver, Greedy Treasure Seeker. He is an inkable 3-cost Dreamborn Villain Alien Pirate Captain. Lots of characteristics. He has 3 strength, 3 willpower, and 1 lore, and the ability chart your own course. For each location you have in play, this character gets resist +1 and gets +1 lore. And his Coconut ability is each of your locations gain resist +1 for each character there. I'm not even sure where to go with this one to start off with. I think just off the top of my head, I think if you do Steel, Ruby, and Amber, you'll have some great location synergies in there. Sapphire's got some good location stuff. This is one of those decks that, especially because my son definitely will want to play this, I want to look at this a little more deeply. Next up in Steel, we have Scar Finally King. This is an inkable 5-cost Storyborn Villain King with 5 strength and 4 willpower and 2 lore. He has the ability Be Grateful. Your ally characters get +1 strength. And Stick With Me. At the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, you may draw cards equal to the strength of chosen ally character of yours. If you do, choose and discard 2 cards and banish that character. His Coconut ability is during your turn, you may pay 1 ink less for the first ally you play. And ally strategies actually have been kind of on the cusp. There's some good stuff there. I think obviously Steel and Sapphire will go really well here. What you want to add into that, I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but it's a good place to start. Rounding out our list of Coconuts, we have Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, one of my favorite cards. This is an inkable 6-cost Floodborn Ally Fairy with 4 strength, 5 willpower, and 2 lore. She has Shift 4 and the abilities Rock the Boat. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. And Puny Pirate. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to chosen opposing character. Her Coconut ability is whenever one of your other abilities or actions deals damage to an opposing character, deal 1 damage to that character. That is nuts. That is absolutely crazy, and I love it. I want to build this deck. I'm so excited to pair this up with Merida, Formidable Archer. There's so many great combinations where a 1 damage, a song or action that deals only 1 or 2 damage can end up dealing 10 damage to something because of all these stacked abilities. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait. I hope you're as excited about this as I am, because I am positively giddy. I know that they have been working on this for a very long time. They started testing this in China a few months ago at DLC Indianapolis behind closed doors. Now we're moving into this open beta. They're doing events at Gen Con and GamesCon in Cologne. They've got dedicated channels on Discord. They've got a survey. They want to know how we feel about this. But I will be honest, this has been in the works since the very beginning of the game. They're too smart not to have been doing this. I also play Magic. I've mentioned that before. And the most popular way to play Magic is a format called Commander, which has a lot of similarities to Coconut, as has been presented to us. It's a singleton format. It's eternal, meaning nothing's rotating out. It's got a very wide card pool, and you have access to a very powerful ability outside of your deck. As a Commander player and as a Lorcana player, I feel like I'm in a unique place to really help out. I'm going to be testing the heck out of this deck techs, sample games. I'm going to force my wife and my kids to play with me. It's going to be great, and they're going to love it. But I really want to see this format succeed. I am so excited about it. And if you want to be part of that journey, walking with us as we go through this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't miss any of our other Lorcana content, because we are just getting started and it's going to be so much fun. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.